Jan and I have been waiting for this day, well, since Jess was born. That time's finally here. Jess, we are incredibly proud of you, the person you are. Seeing you so beautiful and happy fills us with unbelievable pride and love.
And then it explodes.
You love is like hard medicine. There's nothing better than you in my team. You're next to me, or hard medicine. There's nothing better than you. Your love is like hard medicine. There's nothing better than you. Ecstasy, laying next to me, or hard medicine. There's nothing better than you.
Actually, the story of Joe and Jess meeting in 2016 was quite serendipitous. Joe and his good friend Jimmy and Jess and her good friend Annie were out at a bar together. Joe's not exactly hard to miss at a bar, and it was so common for girls to come up and throw themselves at Joe that his friends would bet on how long this would take to happen. But she's cool, calm, and collected, as we've seen, so she goes up to Annie and she goes, "Hey, Annie, you went to school with Jimmy, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did." She's like, "Well, let's go talk to him," with the ulterior motive of the smooth intro to Joe.
Fits.
Joe's got no game whatsoever. However, in one of life's greatest unsolved mysteries, he gets her number. And the next day, the texts start flying, and Jess realizes that he hasn't used her name, so she calls him out. And sure enough, he forgot her name.
It ain't a cloud in the sky, feel good to be a liar. And everything's A-okay.
The first time my family heard about Joe, Jess referred to him as my friend Joe. Jess would not talk about him all Jess would not talk about him all that much to us, but when she would, it was always my friend Joe. Until one day she was talking to her mom and Jess called him Joe. My mom immediately called to tell me this, and we knew then that Joe was more than just a friend and that he was going to be around for a while.
I didn't think any amount of preparation can ever leave you feeling ready to give your daughter away. But if I had to choose a person to hand her to, I would choose you, Joe, every time.
I walk this road, it takes me home where skies are blue. I walk this road because I know it leads to you.
When Kim and I finally met Jess, she made a great first impression on us that still sticks out to this day. She's fun, kind, and smart. We became bigger and bigger fans of her every time we all hung out.
Growing up, I wanted to be just like her, and I would do just about anything she told me to do. Having Jess as an older sister meant always having the cutest clothes, always having someone to go to for advice, and always having someone there for me. Jess is the definition of selfless in so many ways.
We come together not to mark the start of a relationship, but to acknowledge and strengthen a bond that already exists. This ceremony is a public affirmation of that bond, and it is our honor and privilege to stand witness to this event.
We'd like to recognize a couple people who are not here with us tonight. Our good friend, Jimmy Clean, and our dad, Doug Bergfeld. Although they're not here in person, we know that they're here in spirit. So let's take a second to remember them and think of all the amazing memories we have with them.
Jan and I met your wonderful family when they invited the two of us and Jess to dinner at your brother Alan's house. Once the introductions were over, Joe, Alan, and your dad, Doug, walked to the bar and started making Manhattans. Then they turned around and said, "Oh, would you by chance like one?" It was like the Red Sea parted. And the rest is history. Joe, later this evening, let's drink a Manhattan and raise a toast to your dad. Doug.
I'm always on.
Joe, you have become an important part of our family, and we are so glad that you have stuck around, even after all of our chaotic family gatherings and vacations. I can confidently say for everyone in this room that we are so glad that my friend Joe turned into just Joe. Everyone, please raise their glass and cheers to Jess and Joe.
Take Jessica to be your lawfully wedded wife in sickness and in health, in joy and in sorrow, as well as through the good times and the bad. And do you, Jessica, take Joseph to be your lawfully wedded husband in sickness and in health, in joy and in sorrow, as well as through the good times and the bad. It is my honor to now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.